All right, kids, it's interview time here. As we have been talking about, whoring about, and being all excited about, we've got on the line now, if you've seen the film Terrifier, which I'm pretty sure anyone listening to our show probably has, and if you haven't, I don't know what the hell you're doing. You need to pause and go watch that movie because spoilers abound, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But ladies and gentlemen, we've got Art the Clown himself, David Howard Thornton, with us. David, how are we doing, good sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good, good, good. Are you staying safe out there in New York with the COVID and the pandemic and all the craziness going on in 2020?
Oh, yeah. I've been pretty, I've been trying to be as smart as I can about this. I've been wearing the mask and social distancing, staying inside most of the time. I actually, unfortunately, had to cancel a convention in Las Vegas this weekend with Days of the Dead because I just didn't feel like it was probably a good idea to be on an airplane for 5 hours and all that kind of stuff. So It's like, yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Because we're supposed to be wrapping up filming sometime in the next month. So we, Damien and I both want to make sure that we're not sick.
Right. Yeah.
We appreciate that.
And I was actually going to ask that of you too. A couple weeks ago, the news kind of came out that Terrifier 2 was supposed to have a release of this month. I think like a Halloween release or something along those lines. And because of the Rona, everything got pushed back. So how much of a delay was there, and how close are you guys to wrapping filming right now?
Oh, well, we were almost done, filming when we had to close down and everything back in March. I think we're about 2 weeks left of filming to do. And then, the whole virus thing happened. So, we've been able to film here or there throughout like the summer and up through now. So I think we're going to be done by the end of November.
I'm sure it's kind of hard to do. I'm sure it's kind of hard to do those murder scenes, from 6 feet away.
Oh yeah, it's that, and also it was hard to do a lot of that during the summer because it gets so hot, and I start to melt off my makeup.
Oh no!
I start sweating. So just like we tried it one day, and I looked like a stroke victim because my face just kept drooping down. I'm like, oh god.
Awesome.
This is bad. This is bad. Like every time Dave would say cut, he had to come back over and like try to reattach part of my face because I was just
slap it on.
So much.
Tell me, stroked out Art the Clown will make the gag reel when the Terrifier 2 Blu-ray comes out.
Oh, I hope so. I know, like at one point, my whole entire chin was just hanging off, so it was like I looked like I had two mouths.
Oh,
flapping around. I'm like, oh no.
Well, sticking with the Terrifier 2 then, real quick then. So, like, how much filming do you think there is left? Because I've read about how kind of Damien is it pronounced Leone or Leone?
Leone.
Okay. Because I know everything that I've read is that Damien Leone is just. We have a running joke Jason and I do about Tom Savini's work on Dawn of the Dead. Here he is, he's acting, he's a stunt coordinator, he's makeup, and we always say, okay, where is he at? Ah, there he is, Tom Savini catering. And it's like Damien is just, this is clearly his vision, with writing, directing, editing, makeup effects. How much more filming is there kind of left to do you think before he gets into just start editing and pushing for that spring-ish release that they were talking about in the news?
I'm thinking we probably have like 2 more scenes to film, so it's just like one scene with me and one scene with someone else, and so those days should take. So I'm thinking probably about a week left of filming, all in all. So it's like, because I know this one scene that I have to film is going to probably take a few days to film because there's a lot of practical effects going on. It's a pretty big kill scene.
Nice.
That did. Yeah. Go ahead and ask your question now, Brett.
Yeah. Is there going to be more gore in this one than the last one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's one thing that I guess been a benefit of the whole virus is like it's given Damien more time to flesh out some of like these kill scenes we had not finished filming yet. Like he added more to these scenes because it's like, well, I got more time, might as well make them bigger. So like the first scene in the film is this. Oh my God, I think we'd get an NC-17 rating in the first 5 minutes just because of the gore.
Oh yeah, nice. That's what we want to hear.
It's pretty brutal.
Nice.
And I mean,
we were giggling so much filming it. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. I just did like my first whack on the victim, and Damien's like, Dave, this would be that just right there would have been a whole entire kill on a Jason movie, and I'm like, yeah,
right. But this ain't Jason, fool. This is art.
But wait, there's more.
And speaking of giggling, there's something I kind of want to ask here too. The great thing about these films, and especially the fact that Damien is this is all his vision, and there's not a whole lot of studio interference and that kind of stuff because this is so independently done, and a lot of this is coming from Indiegogo supporters, as well as other investment venues. And I was reading somewhere where the Indiegogo backers, one of the perks for a certain dollar amount was that they could be a victim in the movie. And I heard there was I heard it wasn't like it was bad complications, but I heard there were some issues with the fans in their death scenes.
Yeah, it wasn't like bad issues. It was kind of funny issues. Like, we're doing all the squibs and stuff like that, all the blood spurting out everywhere. And some of them just had the biggest smiles on their faces because they were so excited about being killed.
I'm getting killed by art.
Killed. Like, smiling. We gotta do it again. They're like, oh darn! It was so funny. We're dying laughing because they're just so excited about being there, and they got blood spurting out everywhere, and they're like, "Yay!"
That doesn't sound like an issue, though. That just sounds like plain ass fun,
Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that week that we filmed with them was like. That was literally the week before the whole virus outbreak and stuff like that when we had to close everything down. So that's our big, huge,
wow.
It's a big, huge, probably about a 10-minute long scene in the film. It's pure craziness. And so we had a lot of extras in that. And so we had fun that week. It was a week that we thought was going to be really difficult because there was like a lot of stunt work and everything involved, a lot of, special effects that we're a little bit dangerous, and we're like, okay, we got to make sure everything's right, and it just ended up just being fun because like the fans were just having so much fun. It just added more fun to what everybody else was doing because they were just so excited to be there, and it just added to everybody else's excitement.
That is awesome. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you. How did you become aware of Mike? How do you pronounce that?
I think it was Gianelli.
Gianelli.
Yeah.
Retiring and leaving the role of Art the Clown. And what was the audition process for it? Or did you just like walk in and be like, I'm going to be Art the Clown or what?
Yo, I'm Art.
Yo, I'm Art. Put on my fucking makeup and let's do this, huh?
Yeah, like, well, what I understand was like Mike is like one of Damien's old like buddies from way back in the day, and so like when he made a Night Circle to start out with before he made the short film Terrifier and then put all that to All Hallows Eve. He's just like, hey, dude, you want to be this clown? I'm doing this film. He's like, oh, okay, cool. So it was like And I hear that he was not a big fan of having to do all the makeup and everything like that, and he just wanted to do other things with his life and stuff like that. So he just didn't want to come back to do Terrifier as the feature film. And I know, like Damien said, he kind of had a panic attack when that happened because, everything relies on the character and stuff like that. So he was like, oh God, this is what, this is the linchpin of the film. So, he was so worried about finding someone else that could replace Mike, because Mike did a fantastic job in All Hallows Eve when he originated the role. He made it so much easier for me because I already had something to go off of and I could just build on top of that. So for me, getting the part though, they just held an open audition on. They had posted a notice on a website for actors called Actors Access, and they were looking for a tall, skinny guy that had experience with clowning or physical comedy, and that was me. I'd been doing like a lot of physical comedy my whole entire life. I grew up doing like children's theater and community theater, and that's where I honed a lot of my physical comedy abilities, I guess you could say. And I toured with the Grinch for How the Grinch Stole Christmas the musical for 5 years, and our Grinch was Robbie Rutten from Lazy Town, Stephen Carl, who was an amazing physical comedian, and I was his understudy, so he was able to like train me a lot and really perfect my skills. So I was like, oh, this is perfect for me, because I had seen All Hallows Eve and I loved the character already. I'm like, I'm perfect for this role. So I had my agent submit me. I go into the room and I don't have a script and everybody else does, and I kind of started panicking because this was my first feature film lead role that I'd ever auditioned for. I'm like, oh my God, I come in not prepared, and I'm like, oh my God. And so they call me into the room and like, I'm sorry, I don't have a script. Can I get one? I can just look over it for a few minutes and I'll be able to give you guys what you need. And they're like, oh no, you don't need a script. Art doesn't talk. I'm like, okay, cool. So, what do you want me to do then? And they're like, oh, just come up with a scene where you decapitate a guy and you're happy about doing it. That's all they gave me. And they're like, okay, cool. Can I have a few minutes to think about it? I'm like, no. We just want to just do it off the top of your head. Just improv it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Okay. And I don't know where this came from in the dark recesses of my brain, but I came up with this whole scene where I just snuck up behind my victim very cartoonishly, knocked him out. Oh, sorry for all this. I have a loud street behind me. A lot of New York sounds. So I like come in, like knock him out, take out a hacksaw, saw off his head, pick it up, kind of look at it, and I taste the blood on it. Didn't like the taste of it. So I take out a salt shaker and season it. And then I take it again, give it a thumbs up, kind of bathe in the blood a little bit, and just skip out on my merry way. And that's what got me the role.
That's a fantastic audition.
It was crazy, but that's why I always say it's important for actors to have some kind of experience with improvisation, because you just never know when you're going to get thrown into a situation like that. You just got to let yourself just go.
Right.
You just got to turn off the brain, just like let whatever happen.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We see a lot of Chaplin and Harold Lloyd in your art.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
yes. And now Art as a character resembles the silent version of Joker with like no restraints, if that makes sense. Were they influences to you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I got a lot of inspiration for art from all kinds of places. I mean, like for one, I grew up watching all the great silent comedians like Chaplin and Keaton and Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy. Like Mr. Bean was a huge influence on me as well. Jim Carrey, Doug Jones. So I always love those kind of that kind of acting. I love physical comedy. It's because it's a rarity to see this day and age, and I think it's such an interesting art form, no pun intended. But it was that, and then I kind of look at art as like being the ultimate horror fanboy of slasher villains. So there's like a little bit of every slasher villain inside of art. but I would say like you have like Mike Myers and Jason and Pinhead, Leatherface, but I would say a big chunk of that comes from Freddy Krueger as well. I kind of in my head I kind of looked at art as being the bastard child of Harpo Marx and Freddy Krueger.
Beautiful.
So eloquently put.
That's what he is, with a little bit of Joker thrown in as well, of course.
That is what we call the soundbite for the ad for the show this week. That right there. That's outstanding. Yeah, no, but I mean, like you were saying, I mean, it's definitely one of those, you got the silent stalker because, I mean, he never makes a peep, whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's all about, the movement and the mime and all of that. And, kind of with that silence being said, I saw a YouTube video from back in 2011 that involved 100 imitations in 10 minutes. And it was an amazing piece of work that I saw there. And do you ever, as you were filming art and all that type of stuff, I mean, do you ever like kind of see the irony and having this repertoire of impersonations and the vocal skills that you have? And here you are with a clown doing a role that you're probably, I don't want to say you're going to be synonymous for, but right now, I mean, God, you and art, you guys, I mean, it's just, do you ever find the irony or do you ever get like, man, how come I can't even scream when a gal puts a knife through my foot? I can't make any noise whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. Well, that has always been the big piece of irony for me, because that's always been, I always thought my greatest tool set was my voices. I do over 200 different voices, like 25 different dialects. That's always been my big, huge crutch I've relied on as an actor. I usually develop my characters off of the voice. Like once I figure out what the voice is for the character, everything else kind of falls in place. Their stature, everything just, and that's not there with art at all. I'm like, wow, okay, so I got to do this without a voice, which is interesting. But I had always wanted to play a silent character like that, anyways, because I had that love for like silent comedians. So I was like, oh, this is a fun challenge, but it is funny because, my whole entire life, I wanted to be like a big, huge voiceover artist for animation and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to be the next Mel Blanc or something like that. So I was like, oh, This is funny.
Do you enjoy voice acting more or regular, like on camera?
Oh gosh, they're all like stage, voiceover, and film are all so different in so many ways, but they're also great in so many ways too. So I'm like, I can't really pick the one I like the most.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm like, there is something about voiceover there that I really like, because you don't have to worry what you look like.
Right.
Yeah, because no one sees you, so you can be as crazy as you want to be in that booth. I'm usually flailing my arms all around, just going crazy and making the weirdest faces and whatever, because it just helps me get the character out. And also, you don't have to worry about memorizing lines. You got it all written right there in front of you, so you can just read the lines. And so it's a fun job because you can place multiple characters in the same kind of production. And be characters that you could never play, live because of the way your stature is. Like I'm a skinny guy. I could never play a huge, muscle-bound biker, right, but I have in video games.
You're not going to get booked as Gimli anytime soon, type of a deal there.
Exactly. Not in real life, but like in voiceover, I'm like, oh, what are you doing like that? Like, give me that paybox. I got a fuel. It's the kill over here.
Toss me.
Yeah, toss me. Toss me now.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I love it. It's one of those jobs where I was in there one time for one animated series I was doing, and they're just like, so we have this evil tree that you need a voice. It's a giant oak tree that just comes to life, and he's evil, and we need you to voice him. And I'm like, okay. Like, he doesn't talk. He just makes sounds. I'm like, okay. So I was just like, the whole time. Like, this is what I got paid to do. I'm like, this is crazy.
How do you pay for groceries?
That's how I paid my rent that month. I was like, this is amazing. I've done other things. There's a animated series I did for the Sprout Network for like 5-year-olds. It was called Super Wings. And I was their go-to animal guy. Anytime they needed an animal, they're like, Dave, can you come in? We need you to do a dog today. We need you to do a camel today. We need you to do a cod. So like
A cod.
some weird, like animals I had never heard of, and I had to look them up. I'm like, oh, that's some African antelope, and it's just like I can't even remember the name of it. But I was like, what the heck? It's like, okay, I'll come up with something. I'm just like, and I'm like, okay, here. Like, this is insane. So it's like, yeah, cool, I can do this.
That's funny. If you don't mind, kind of going back to Art the Clown. I was curious, how much freedom did Damien give you in portraying Art the Clown? I mean, did he give you any room for that improv?
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's what I like about working with Damien. He's one of those not actors, but directors that is. He's very actor friendly in that regard, where he has his ideas about what he wants for a scene. Like sometimes he'll direct me down to the very when he wants me to make a certain facial expression or so, and how he wants me to make that facial expression. And I'm constantly going to him, like, so what kind of smile do you want here? Do you want like a big, huge, happy smile? Do you want like sinister smile? What do you want? So I'll do that. But other times he's like, okay, I've gotten what I want now. I want to see you just play. Just you do your thing now. And so he'll do that. And we discovered that in the first film, because before that we didn't know each other's styles and everything like that. Sure. So when he was writing the script for part 2, he actually wrote some scenes in here where he's just basically like, and David just plays. And so we didn't even know what to do until we got that big, and I see what I can work with.
5-minute scene wrapped up in 2 words.
Oh yeah. There was like this one scene we filmed in the movie where I can't say what it is yet, but it was just like I just go in there and I just looked at what all's on this table, and I'm like, okay, I have a whole routine now. And I showed him the routine, and like, cool, let's film it.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil the new movie just yet. You leave that to us when we do our review on the show, then we spoil it for everybody. That's how we operate.
Oh, yeah, I want to watch it first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So this scene, like, I understand the whole entire crew was just off camera, just holding in their laughter the whole entire time. But it's just like that's what's so weird about when you're doing like a comedic routine on film. The crew has to be silent, and that's death to comedians. No comedian wants to hear silence when they're trying to be funny. and that's what I had to get used to with being on camera. Because I'm used to being on stage when I do comedy, and you have that instant feedback from the audience. So okay, good, this is working.
Right.
So you're like, I don't know if this is working or not. It's not until they say cut, and then everybody starts laughing. You're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it worked.
That silence. Oh, it's death. It's death. It's just like, oh, God. Am I funny?
Well, okay, and speaking of cut, something that I'm the segue king of the show, in case you ever tune in and chat and listen to us. So one question that I kind of had, I was going back and I was watching the first Terrifier, not the early short, but the feature, and so between the infamous hacksaw scene that everyone kind of goes to, and the scene where the second exterminator guy comes in and gets beheaded. A question I had with this was, as indie as this movie was, and I'm sure the funds were so limited, of those scenes, were they all just kind of like, one take Jones, like, don't screw this up, David? because we only got one shot at this. Or was there like 5 or 6 like blonde mannequins stacked over the side that you could just have your way with?
Oh no, those were those are basically one shots.
Okay.
Okay, we just have to like see what happens. Hopefully, I don't screw it up too badly. I'm like with the hacksaw scene because I actually got to cut through that body, which was a lot of fun to do. Actually,
Yeah, we were jealous.
we only had one. We only had one of those to cut through. So, but the thing was when we would cut, we could just cut from where we were and then start again from where I was sawing. So, but like the decapitation scene where I pop off the head, that was a one shot deal. And so I'm like, I was so nervous about messing that up. I was like, oh God, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
I'm gonna assume that you didn't, that fear led you to cut that head off just the right way.
Oh yeah. And there's also a scene that we do in part 2. There's like, I was just like, okay, we only have 2 takes to do this with this stunt actress, so yeah. I'm like, cool, okay. It is like, once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like, but there's one of those things where I had to maintain my cool the whole entire time because it was a really dangerous thing that I'm doing to this person, but an also awesome thing as well. And so I'm just like having to contain all that inside of me while I'm just having to act as art and be sinister and like scary. And I'm like, oh, but inside I'm like, oh shit. But it doesn't show on my face, thank God. I'm like acting, but in my head I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Oh no.
See, this is going to be real difficult trying to watch the movie when Terrifier 2 comes out the first time, because we're going to go, okay, where's that scene he was talking about? We got to paying more attention to the shit we're talking about now than the actual movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So congratulations,
that was a very fun day for me on set. I was able to live out a lot of my childhood dreams that day. So I was just like, yeah.
I was able to live out my childhood dreams playing Art the Clown.
Yeah. Oh, you'll know when you see it. You'll know. You're like, oh my God, that had been fun to do.
Congratulations, you've just ensured at least 2 viewings each in the theaters from us. So yeah, you got that going.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Is there any like upcoming projects or anything like that us fans can look forward to other than the part 2 of Art?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I actually just filmed this like 2 weeks ago. I was just asked. Some of my friends have been doing this film called The Dark Offerings. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's been filmed entirely on Zoom over this whole entire COVID outbreak. So it's really cool what they've done with this, and they wrote a whole scene in there for me. They're like, hey, can you just be in one of the first kills in the movie? And I'm like, oh, cool. So it's like I get to get killed for my first time as a victim. So
nice.
That was an experience for me.
I get to see how the other half live.
I have a new appreciation for my my co-stars, especially the female co-stars, to do all that screaming, because I was so hoarse by the end of the night, and I'm like, oh my God, how do they do this? That was fun though. I mean, I have that, and then in January I'm filming 2 different films. I have a little cameo role in this independent Indiegogo campaign film called Time's Out. That is Damon Maffei from Strangers 2, Pray at Night, and Haunt, and Elsie Holt from You're Next, and Felissa Rose. They're all part of and producing and stuff like that. They wrote a part for me in there as well, so it's going to be fun. Then I'm also going to be filming with some of our Terrifier crew, our Fuzz on the Lens guys that did Abnormal Attraction well. They were Mike was the exterminator that I decapitated, and his brother and their business partner Steve and Jason were the cops in the film.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
And they have, they're doing a film called Stream, which we're hoping is going to become a new franchise. And we're going to be filming that early next year as well. And it's going to have a lot of horror people involved with that. Like Jeffrey Combs is going to be basically the big lead in this, stuff like that. And we got, Felissa Rose, Daniel Roebuck, and some other big names in there as well that I haven't been able to divulge yet.
Sure.
So it's exciting. It's very exciting. So we're all going to be camped out in a hotel in Gettysburg for about a month or so and just filming. So it's going to be a bunch of horror people together just having fun.
Awesome.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, well, all you had to do was say Jeffrey Combs, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Boom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I am so excited because I'm like, I know everybody else thinks of him as, from, Reanimator.
Right.
I have this huge appreciation for him from The Frighteners because I thought he was like, that movie was an awesome movie, but he was my favorite character in the movie. I just thought he was just such a great, neurotic, crazy character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's...
And I love those kind of guys. I love working with guys like because I can learn from them. I hate being like, I guess it's weird to say, but like the biggest talent in the room. I'd rather be with other people that I can learn from. Because I'm like, because there's always something new to learn. So I love working with people like, oh wow, okay, I can sit here just watch what he does and just like, okay, I'm getting ideas and stuff like that.
Right.
I was checking out some of your other stuff, and I came across the Nightwing series on the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
that's pretty cool.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because I thought your Joker was way better than Jared Leto's. So. Yeah.
Yes.
But your Joker, like, it really reminded me of the Joker from Batman the Animated Series that was voiced by Mark Hamill. Was that an inspiration or just like a weird coincidence?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I kind of put a lot of different Jokers into my version of the Joker because it's like it's kind of like how if you hear another voice for Bugs Bunny, it just doesn't work.
Right.
And that's just kind of how like Mark Hamill is for me for the Joker. Him and like Cesar Romero, I put a lot of both of them into my Joker.
Right.
Now a little bit of Heath Ledger, but basically Romero and Hamill. And that's how it is. It's just like, it's like I wanted, because I think Mark's voice is the Joker is the best. It's just like you can't beat his version of the Joker. I think he's fully encapsulated who the Joker is from the comic book. Mm-hmm, and that's what I wanted to bring to life because I was like, all the live action versions of Joker I've ever seen, no one's really brought the comic book to life. They've all just done something different with them. And I'm like, no, I want to see the comic book brought to life.
Right. Yeah, because that's the first thing that that I thought when I hadn't watched the Nightwing, but I had seen like the quasi shot, the Killing Joke pose with the camera, and in the purple suit, and immediately I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, my God, I mean, this is like, at least visually, because again I hadn't seen it, but visually, I mean, it was just an amazing throwback to that Silver Age, late 70s, and Neil Adams and Danny O'Neill Joker that we kind of all grew up with on our end, and you're kind of in our same age bracket there. We're all kind of in the 40s, and I mean, just visually striking. I thought, my God, this guy is like the Silver Age Joker that we've been missing because all we've had is like the goth Jokers, and shit like that.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm so tired of it. I'm like, can't someone just do the real Joker? Why do you have to do something creative? Or like, no, just make him the Joker.
Right.
Just do the comic book. That's what people want to see. People want to see the comic book brought to life.
Well, I like I said, I think you did a pretty terrific job in bringing your Joker to life. It was.
I do too.
I liked it actually. So yeah, keep it up. That's a good work, man.
Yeah. Is there any more Joker in the future for us from you?
I'm hoping. I'm like, we're eventually supposed to finish up that series, but it's a fan-made series, so it all depends on when all we can get together and film. But that's I haven't filmed a scene for that in like almost 4 or 5 years. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, wow. I saw the IMDb on that. It's kind of like 20 episodes in like an 8-year time span. So it's
It's tough. But I mean, like, I keep out hope that, that I would really like to bring Joker to life in a bigger way. I especially would love to play him on a TV series or something like that. And it's like, as much fun as it would be to do a film, I think TV series would be better because, I would be able to spend more time with the character and flesh him out over seasons instead of like a 2-hour movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's so much you can do with that character. It's just like, and there's so many great story arcs. So, like, I've always wanted to see the death of the family story arc brought to life, where where he did where he had cut off his face.
Right. Yeah. The most recent run with Scott Snyder. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a great story arc because it really delves deep into the relationship between Batman and Joker, the dynamic between the two, how you can't have one without the other, and how he even says that whole thing where he's like, I don't want to kill you. It's like, if I killed you, then my life would not have purpose. It's like, no, I'll kill everybody else around you because they make you weak, but no, not you. I want you. It's a great. It's like that. They even had this whole thing in there where Batman's talking about like how he noticed that his pupils, the way they dilated, only around when he was around Batman. It's like he said, he only looks at me this way. He looks at no one else this way, and it's a different. It's the only time that you ever had that look is when you're in love with something. And I'm like, that's a really cool idea to really think about. And not like he's like not romantically in love with Batman, but he's he has a love for Batman that he's like, he realizes that is what completes him. And so he's obsessed with him in that way.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Of the two psychotic clowns that you've played between Joker and Art, which one's your favorite so far?
Oh boy. Because they're so alike, but so different too. That's what's really hard. I would say, because I love Joker's monologuing. I love just his witticisms. It's like that's what I love about him. But it's like with Art, I love being able to just do so much with the physical aspects of the character. So it's like I think I have an equal love for them. I really can't
have one
it's
without
like
the other.
I would if I have to, I would probably say Art because he is more my creation in a lot of ways than Joker would be. Because it's like, even though I have taken a lot from Mike Giannelli, it's like I put a lot of myself into Art as well. It's like as opposed to what I could do with Joker.
Right. Yeah. It's your baby.
Yeah.
Just
it's my baby.
A 6-foot-tall psychotic demon clown baby.
That we love.
That just tore that. That's where he got the idea for cutting women in half. It just it just tore that JJ in half. It's just like, whoa.
do you just real quick? Do you ever look at any script or ideas that Damien has, and you look at him and go, seriously, dude, what the fuck? You want me to do what?
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of like just reading the script for the first one with the whole hacksaw scene, because I'm so used to horror films, like when you have a death, you had the first whack and then it cuts away. And he was writing, description of what all was going on. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is probably what he's just saying. We're not going to show that. And I asked him, he's like, oh, no, we're going to show it all. I'm like, what? Oh, my God, yes.
Just that hacksaw right between the butt cheeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like some of the deaths that he has in part 2 are just like, oh, my God, because like you read these things that he comes up with, and you see what he does and the things he comes up with, and you're like, God, he's got to be such a messed up person in real life. He's probably going to be like Marilyn Manson, just like, yeah, everybody's got a job. And like, no, he's like the most chill, like laid back guy you'll ever meet.
So check this out. I've got this really great idea. We're going to take this hacksaw. And
that's exactly what he's like. He's like, dude, I just came up with something just so cool. okay, we're gonna do this, and like, it's like, yeah, if you were saying this to anybody else, they would probably think you're nuts.
It's a good thing we're doing a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, one take.
Yeah. I was like, okay, great, no pressure at all. Thank you. I actually like in part 2. I actually had because I have horrible depth perception. And I was like, there was like this one prosthetic that I was having to take a whack at, actually 2 times in the film where I was having to take a whack at something and I only had like, 1 or 2 shots to do it. And I was like, I don't trust my aim, and I don't want to be the one that messes up this shot. So I let like our AD come in, or his brother, like Mike or Jason, come in and like relief pitch for me. I'm like, yeah, you're stronger and you have better aim than me. So go ahead, please, because he's like, I want this to look as good as possible, and I don't want to be the one to fuck this up.
All right, cut. Stunt hacker. That's
Yeah. I had no problems with that. I was like, go ahead, please, and they got it. And it looks like those hits look amazing. And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't have done it nearly that good because I would have totally whiffed it.
Taking into consideration, David, all of the work that you've done, which one has been your favorite role, and your favorite role that you've done, and then what role is there that you would still like to play?
Yeah. I would say my favorite role I've ever done is, I've done it twice now. It's a play called The 39 Steps. And it's based on an old Alfred Hitchcock movie that they made into a comedy that was on Broadway for a while. And it's a play where 4 actors, and the male lead plays the male lead, the female plays the 3 main females in the play, and you have the 2 clowns that play everybody else. So, and I've played both clowns now. So I've played over 60 characters in this show, and they're all English or Scottish, and one of them is an English professor living in Scotland who's actually a Nazi spy for Germany.
Oh my! How do you wrap a voice around
and
that?
I would have scenes in the show where I would have to have arguments with myself on stage, and I would have to switch between characters and accents and voices and go back and forth. It was a show where I would leave the stage every night just sweating profusely and just exhausted, but it was just so euphoric because it was just such a fun show to do. And so that's my favorite role. It's like that's a show I would gladly return to any day because there's so many possibilities to do with that show. So I love that show so much. But as for roles I love to play, of course there's Joker, but I've always, there are 2 ones for stage. I've always wanted to do I don't know why they haven't done this yet, but do a stage adaptation of A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
because I would love to play Jack Skellington.
Yeah,
and I think you could do amazing things with puppetry in that. You get someone like Julie Taymor or someone like that involved with it, and you could just do amazing things on stage with it. And plus, the music's just fantastic. Anyways, it's Danny Elfman's music, so it's just like, oh my god,
yeah, exactly right.
So that's a dream role for me, is to play Jack Skellington. But other than that, I've also wanted to do a reboot of The Mask, but do it like the original comic book, where it was that dark, gory, violent. Because I'm like, Deadpool proved that you could do that kind of movie now, and audiences would love it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that would actually translate really well, not necessarily into a movie, but into like a Netflix series. Because like the comic book, it was multiple people that wore the mask as well.
Right.
So you could, each season could be a different person that has control of the mask or something like that. And there's so many possibilities with that.
If you had like buckets full of cash, and would that be an idea you'd want to get made in Hollywood? Because that sounds
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If I had the funds to do that, oh my god, yeah, I would be like, okay, let me find a really good script writer.
I was gonna
Like,
say
I'm not
kinda-
rich yet, so I mean, I'll get there one day. But I was like, God, that would be fun.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that.
Yeah, like as an executive producer, like who would be your ideal crew? Whether it be for a mask revival or whatever project you want, as far as like who'd be a screenwriter you'd want to work with, a director you'd want to work with, another actor that you would like the chance to put in.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like I don't know. I'd really have to think about that. That's a really good for a director for that. Oh my God, it would have to be someone that's really good with comedy, but also really good with practical effects and stuff like that, and that kind of imagination for
Tom Savini.
that understands. Yeah. So I mean, there's always that I would love to work with Guillermo del Toro one day too. I was just like, that would just be. That would just be a dream come true because I think he's such an imaginative director too. So it's just like, I don't know. This is like, maybe you could get like someone like Sam Raimi or
Oh yeah.
he would probably he would be good for that.
Yeah, he would.
He would be good because he would Oh my God!
I think what we're looking at here is we're going to have the Quad M revival of Masters of Horror, that old Showtime series
Oh
from a while back. I think we're making plans here, gentlemen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So as we start to wind this down a little bit, one thing we like to do with our victims / interviewees. We like to do what we call the lightning round.
The lightning round.
Give you a couple of either or questions, some quick, one-word answers you can delve into as much as you want, but basically just kind of, little quick-fire, non-sequitur questions. You ready?
All right.
Jason, start us
Yeah,
off.
let's do it.
All right. Are we just going to go around our?
We'll just go round robin. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. Is it sock shoe or sock shoe?
I have no idea what this is in reference to.
Putting on your
What
feet.
were those again? Sock, shoo, shoe?
Yep.
Or sock, shoe, or sock, shoe.
Oh, like putting on socks and shoes. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. With me, it's sock, shoe.
I was confused when I first read that too. So
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Some kind of like anime? Or...
I'm just covering up the piggies. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
I almost got defeated there.
I see what he did.
Ding, ding.
If I had the
I'm
button
such
set up,
a
I would.
heel. Totally.
all right. How about marijuana? Legal or no?
Let's see. I don't smoke because I have a smoke allergy, but I say go ahead and legalize it because I think it has a lot of great medicinal purposes that people can actually benefit from. So yeah, legalize it.
Very good. When you hear the first couple of bars playing, are you hoping that it's Ice Ice Baby or Under Pressure?
Oh, Under Pressure.
That's what we
I'm
call
a huge Queen fan.
There we go.
That's what we call the right answer.
Queen and Bowie. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with Freddie Mercury and Bowie singing together.
No, you
Exactly.
Would you rather get away with a lie or tell the truth, but everyone thinks you're lying?
Oh God, I would rather get away with a lie because that's one of the most annoying things for me. Because when I know I'm telling the truth, people think I'm lying. It's just so frustrating. It's just like, no, I can tell. Oh God, yeah. I would rather get away with a lie.
All right.
Our kind of people.
Yes. All right. Dog person or cat person?
I love animals, but I would say I have to be a dog person, even though we do have a cat in our apartment right now. But it's just there's something about dogs. They're just cats do their own thing. Dogs are like, hey, I miss you, I love you.
I agree.
Cats are like,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'll let you pet me for now, but then I'm going to bite you.
Of course, Brett will agree with you because he's like the Bumpuses off of Christmas Story with his pack of 5 hounds running around. All right, next question from the horror aficionado. Well, we try. The horror aficionados want to know: Freddy or Jason?
Oh, Freddy.
Freddy.
I think Freddy is he's my favorite horror villain of all time. I think he is the most creative character for horror ever created. It's just the idea behind that is just like, first of all, he's just scary as anything. The weapon of choice for him is extremely creative. But then you have that whole idea that he's a dream demon, basically. So you can't escape him. You can escape Jason and Mike Myers. You can get in a car and drive the frick away. Just hop in a plane, go to Australia, hope he doesn't follow you there. Because I know, Jason's gotten on a boat before, but
Right.
Freddy, you have to fall asleep at some time. And so if you don't sleep, you're going to die. But if you do sleep, you're going to die. So that's scary in itself. And then also there's, infinite possibilities you can do with him because all that takes place in the dream realm. So you can do whatever you want to with the character. You're not, held, by the constraints of, reality. You can do whatever you want to with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, it's just limitless.
It's absolutely limitless. I love the character. But I love Jason too, but Freddy's just special.
Freddy's special.
That
Freddy
was
is
a brilliant creation.
Okay, next one. Hogwarts or Xavier's schools for gifted youngsters?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The gifted youths.
I would say Hogwarts because, that way you're able to learn all kinds of different, spells and abilities and whatnot. When you're mutant, you just have your one mutant ability. So that's all you're going to learn. So Hogwarts.
Oh,
Again with the versatility.
indeed.
Yes, in video.
I like options.
Speaking of options, when you are out to eat, do you prefer ranch or marinara sauce?
Oh, ranch.
Oh,
I'm
man
ranch
after my own
guy,
heart.
yeah.
Good man. That's what we like to
Yeah.
hear.
I was like, the college I went to, our cafeteria food was the worst. And the pizza they had there was like I bless them for trying to make it because they just made it from scratch. But it was just like the sauce was just garbage, and it was just. And so we had to use ranch to make our pizza taste better. And so I was like, it was something I was like, oh wow, this is actually a good combination. And then I worked at a pizza place here in New York City for a while, and we had this one pizza there. It was a bacon chicken ranch pizza, and it was amazing.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh my god, it was amazing. I would do that, and we also had another one called the Hangover pizza, and it was pepperoni pizza with hot sauce and shoestring fries on it. They were like really crispy fries. And so I would make a sandwich out of that and the bacon chicken ranch piece, and I call it the Stoner Special. It was because we had a lot of college students came in, so I was like, guys, do half this, half that. Trust me. Like, oh my god, dude, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah.
Scoob, this is fantastic, Scoob.
Yeah. Like, whoa. This is the best pizza ever.
Oh, man. Thank you for that. So the next question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be employed.
Well said.
Yeah. Thank you. You just had a gulp of Mountain Dew come out my nose. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm doing what I'm doing. That's I've achieved what I want to do with my life. So
Okay,
I'm extremely happy to be where I am.
I was going to say, you got
So
the
I
fire
can't
alarm
complain.
going on back there? Or what?
No, he's backing up.
Oh, it's just backing up.
Oh, no, it's a microwave. Never made something.
No, that wasn't one of the questions, by the way. Just what's going on?
No, I
over
wasn't backing up. I'm not that big.
You've seen him on the screen. He's
What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. Oh my God. I would say slow walkers.
Ooh.
Here in New York City, when they get behind, especially when it's snowed and they've only shoveled one small little lane on the sidewalk, and you get behind some person just slowly walking, or someone slowly walking when a subway's coming into the station and they're slowly walking down the stairs looking at their phone. I wish they would like make it totally legal to just, if someone's doing that, you can just take their phone out of their hand and chunk it into the subway. And just like,
that would be awesome.
I have long legs, and so I'm a fast walker, and so when I get behind a slow walker, I start tripping over my own feet.
Right.
I can't stand it. It's like, walk with purpose. People that just slowly walk. And it's like, oh my
Walk
God, I
with
understand. I
purpose.
understand if you're elderly. That's an exception to it. But like if you're not like a little bitty kid, or you're not like an old person, or you're not injured, then like move.
Use what you were born
Right,
with,
but
damn
left,
it.
Right, but you can do it.
All right. Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh. I would say the one I had the longest was Christina Ricci, because we're like the same age.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. It's like going back to like when Addams Family first came out when I was a kid. I was like, oh, she is so cute. She is so cute. And then like just going on, all the other movies that she did. And I was like, and then I did a convention last year with her, and I'm at lunch sitting at the table, all these other people, like Christopher Lloyd sitting next to me. So I'm already freaking out over that. And
Right.
like someone bumps into me and I hear this, oh, I'm so sorry. And I look up and it's Christina Ricci, and I'm like, hi. Be cool. I mean, she was just, chatting on the phone with her kids and stuff like that. But I was just like, it's just like, oh my God.
Oh my God! See, as a quick as like a quick aside, when working conventions, and that type of thing. I mean, I know on our end, because we also do comic books, so we're in that artist alley end of doing the conventions where it's just shilling and we don't get to have any of that green room type of cool type of shit that goes on there. Obviously, that's going to be one of like your coolest celebrity elbow rubbing encounters. What's the?
Oh my God, that was insane! It was because it was all of us are in there eating at the same time. So I'm sitting at the table with Henry Thomas and like the guy that played his older brother in E.T.
Right.
Then Lurch and Pugsley are sitting at the table with me.
Oh my
then,
God.
Then Christopher Lloyd's sitting right next to me reading a newspaper. Then Christina Ricci's there, and like Eddie Furlong's. I'm just like, this is my childhood sitting at the table with me. I did not feel like I deserved to be sitting at the table with all of them. And we're just casually having conversation, just shooting the shit. And I'm like, this is insane. And I'm just in my head, just like, I gotta be cool, just be cool, be cool, be cool. But inside, I'm just like, oh my God, this is insane. Oh, you have no idea. I was just like, that was such like, oh my God, I was going nuts, especially meeting Christopher Lloyd, because how that happened, I was like, I was getting ready for my photo op, so Damien's putting the makeup on me, and my manager comes in, and he's like, hey, because we're in the green room, he's like, hey, we got someone that wants to meet you guys, and I just hear this, oh wow. Like, oh my God. And like Damien just makes this like sound that's like, he just goes ah. It was just just seeing this big, huge smile on Christopher Lloyd's face, like he was just loved the makeup. He was like, "There's this absolutely fantastic." I was like, "Oh, just to see I could bring a smile to Christopher Lloyd's face, like made my year."
That, right?
Batman is like, he is my childhood. He is like so many of my favorite movies.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you just think about just not even looking up IMDb about all of the movies he's been in that any of us have watched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You know, whether it was Roger Rabbit
it's
or,
amazing.
you know, I mean, there was an old movie and I couldn't.
Roger Rabbit is my favorite movie of all time. So I was just like, oh my God.
Right.
But he's so sweet too. He's a very quiet, reserved man. He's just like, oh yes. Just like he's just in there, just casually just reading the newspaper, catching up with current events. You know, it's like, this is amazing. It's
like all,
Christopher freaking Lloyd.
and he looks over and says, "What's a 7-letter word for bad attitude?" One of my I made Art the Clown laugh. That has made my day.
That I would have probably peed in my pants if he did that, because I was like, "Oh my God, that's just like."
Well, that's you know, of all the work that he's done.
Someone give me a clue.
Because one of my favorite bits of his, and of all the work that he's done, it's this little 5-minute snippet in Taxi when his character is doing the driving test, and he's trying not to cheat, but he looks over at the guys and says, "What does a yellow light mean?" And they're like back at him, "Slow down. What does a yellow light mean?" If I need a quick cheer up, boy, does that quick little attitude pick me up? I go and I watch that video and I'm giggling for like another hour just from that alone.
Oh my God, it's just, he had such great timing. Is just like, I recently rewatched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest again, which is one of my favorite movies. But like, he's so great. He and Danny DeVito. Like, Danny DeVito is Martini in that. Is just like, that's not, you've never seen DeVito ever play a character like that before.
No.
It's just like, like watching the two of them in that movie is just like, it just, like, holy crap.
What was, and this can either be like just a nightmarish situation, a crazy awesome situation. Like, what's been the most unique fan encounter? Like, you know, sign my tattoo, or, you know, what's been the most unique fan encounter at a convention?
Oh gosh, I've gotten a lot of those tattoos. Right, I've signed those. Those were pretty unique too. But it was like those have been pretty, especially when someone's like just shaking because they're so excited to meet you, and I'm like, because in my head I'm still me. I'm still like the shy nerd from Alabama, that always got picked last to be on the the dodgeball team and stuff like that. So I'm just like, why are you shaking around me and stuff like that? It's like, I'm just me.
And then you look down and see these giant clown shoes and say, oh yeah.
But what's even crazier is when you find out someone else, like in another celebrity that you have respected, is a huge fan of yours. That's what's really nuts.
What's the weirdest one? The craziest one that's come up and said, yeah, I totally love your work.
Oh, I'm like, there's like, Richard Brake and like Bill Moseley.
Wow.
Like
okay.
Bill had, God, Mick Foley wanted me to sign stuff for his kids because they're fans and stuff like that. But like a really cool one was I was sitting at my table and I had a line of people, and I could just sense someone breaking the line, and I was about to kind of get a little rude and like, you got to wait your turn, man. And I look up, and Chris Jericho is just looking down. He's like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Oh, hey." He's like, "Dude, oh my God, I'm so happy to finally meet you. I'm a huge fan." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Hey, I'm doing a podcast. Do you want to come on my podcast tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, totally. Get back in line, pal.
So it's like that. Those are like what's so surreal. It's like, what? You know who I am? So that's what's kind of cool. It's just like, yeah, now Chris is part of the Terrifier family in a lot of ways. So it's like, because we've hung out with him and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's those kind of moments. Where it's like, what? No.
Okay. Who is the messiest person you know?
Not named Art the Clown.
Oh my God. It's this it was like that episode of Friends where Ross was dating this girl that was extremely messy. It was this girl I ended up just hooking up with one night years ago. And her place, oh my God. I'm like, because you wouldn't know it. When I first met her, I was like, oh, wow, she's very well put together, blah, blah, blah. I get into her place. It looked like a bomb went off. There was like food everywhere, clothes everywhere. It's like I was expecting to just put my hand inside the couch like Ross and it comes out covered in mustard or something. I was just like, how can you live like this? I'm like, I'm not the neatest person in the world by any means. But this was just like, it was like one massive health code violation. And I was like, I can't do this forever again. I was like, no. This is just, no. That was just, no.
At least take the cheeseburger off the couch. Come on.
Oh, my God. I swear Jimmy Hoffa was buried somewhere in her room. It was just like, there's so much stuff. It was like, you can probably find the Ark of the Covenant in there as well. I don't know. It was just, wow. I was like, how do you live like this?
All right. Another question for you. G.I. Joe or Transformers?
Oh, God. Damn you. Because they had one of my favorite actors from back then doing the voices of two of my favorite characters, Starscream and Cobra Commander.
Oh,
so
Chris,
yeah.
Chris Latta. Yes.
I would have to say Transformers because it was more creative.
Okay.
Sure.
In that
I get
way.
that.
Yeah, but God, they were both so good. Oh, they were so, but yeah, Transformers too, because they dared to do some things that you never saw, like the Transformer movie when they killed so many characters, including Optimus Prime. Like when you're a kid and you go to the movie theater and you're watching a Transformer movie and they kill Optimus Prime,
destroying our childhood.
What?
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh my God, I remember like, oh my God, all of us on like the playground were like, oh. And then when because everybody was so upset, they brought him back in the animated series, and everyone was like, "Thank God, yes." Like, who cares about Rodimus Prime? We don't want Rodimus Prime. No, bring us up, damn it! It's like, oh my God,
Give me the damn red semi. Come on.
yeah. It's just like, oh my God. And then he had the Dinobot, Grimlock. Oh my God.
See, Grimlock,
no like, no.
Me, Grimlock, no like. Yeah. See, and that's what I love about.
So good.
And that's what I love about voice actors is that you have a guy like Chris Latta where you hear Cobra Commander and you hear Starscream, and then all of a sudden, like years later, you find out that he also did the voice of Gung Ho, and you're like, that was the same dude.
Yeah.
And
it's nuts.
Have you? I think there's a video out, and I saw it on the YouTube a while back where Chris Latta did a stand-up performance on an evening at the Improv.
Oh my God!
Have you seen it? Yeah, I'm judging by that. You have not seen that.
I have to see this.
It is, yeah. No, seriously, look it up. It's great. He comes out and he looks like just this big like mafiosa guy. You know, his hair's kind of pulled back. He's got that bullet kind of going on, you know, where he's all bald on top and then long hair in the back, pulled in a ponytail. Kind of the, you know, kind of big fur coat, big pinky rings and a cigar, and he comes out and, you know, starts talking tough like gung-ho. And then all of a sudden he gets like all psychotic and manic doing the Cobra Commander voice. And I'm like, that is just amazing.
Oh.
But yeah. No,
I got to look this up. It's got to be on YouTube. I'm going to have to look that up later tonight.
Yeah. Chris Latta, Evening at the Improv, and it's like a 10-minute stand-up bit. It's amazing. Check it out.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends, we've done a lot of voiceover work together for some video games. His name's Frank Todaro. And he's been doing the voice of not Cobra Commander, but Starscream on the newer Transformers series. And I'm like, I was so excited for him, but also hating him at the same time because I would love to play Starscream as well. Wow! Yes. Oh, I was like, man, that is perfect. Do it. I'm glad it's Frank because I was just like, he's so. We have a lot of similar voices that we do, so I was like, oh well, you know, that's great. Go Frank. He's also going to be voicing Mugman in the Cup Man series too. So it's like,
all right,
Cup Boy, yeah.
All right, well,
Mugman and Cup. Yeah.
Here we are. The grand.
Get it right.
Oh yeah, no, we'll let you. This is your interview.
Well, so that's what I love about like the voiceover community. It's like even though all of us like are up against each other for like the same jobs, it's like everybody's like on the same team together. Everybody supports each other. So it's like oh well, you know, if I didn't get it, I'm glad you got it. So it's like it's different from what I encountered in like the musical theater world, where everybody was just, you know, competing against each other, and everybody's just kind of, you know, trying to trash talk each other, and like there wasn't that camaraderie there. There wasn't that support system. It's like, oh well, they're kind of bitchy about each other.
Right?
You know, it's like, nah, voiceover's like, oh, that guy's awesome. Okay, yeah, he's got it. Go ahead.
Well, I got security guard number 3.
Yeah. I mean, I look like, you know, like what goes on with like Troy Baker and Nolan North, and those two guys are always competing against each other, but they seem like they'd be like the best of buds too. So I love that.
Yeah, and they've pretty much dominated the entire video game industry. So, you know, don't try to get in on that racket because they're good. They're going to win every time.
Oh, exactly. It's like when I found out that Nolan North was doing the voice of the Penguin in the Arkham games. I was like, what?
Right?
That's him. Because he was so good, he like totally, because it's not, you're so used to Nathan Drake, and then you hear that you know, the company voice, and I was like, oh man, that's actually him. He's so good. They're all so good, and I love it. I think those voiceover actors, they deserve so much more recognition than they get.
Could not agree with you more on that.
Indeed.
Yeah,
because that's one thing that I've always said is that while it's a different style, voice acting is voice acting. Yeah. And you know, like if I had to give out like say my top 3, it would be Mel Blanc, Frank Welker, and Corey Burton. Especially like as a Transformers fan, you would know this as well. When you've got, and I like voice actors that can do completely different voices that you would have no idea it was him. And like,
I'm going to add Billy West to your list, though.
Well, that could be
voice actors.
That could be your list.
I'm just jumping on that.
But like with Corey Burton, you know, you watch that original Transformers series, and you got Corey Burton who does the voice for Spike. And then you turn around, and then here again, years later, thanks to a little thing called IMDb, you come to find out he also did the voice for Brawn and Shockwave, and not a one of them sound alike.
Not at all. It's amazing. That's what I love. That's what I love about IMDb is going through and looking up these voiceover actors and seeing what and you're like, oh my god, they did this. I'm like, holy crap! Well, you know, Jim Cummings, who's like the voice of all the Disney characters now.
Right.
It's like he's so amazing. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, now Optimus Prime is Eeyore. What a world we live in, right?
Yeah. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Well, let's go ahead here. We got
the
the grand finale question for you. the topper of the lightning round. Jason, if you would please.
David, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh boy, I would say probably the Velociraptor.
All right.
Yeah.
And
It's just like that's a hard one though, because I love the T-Rex, but he's got the small little arms. So that's a handicap for him.
He can't do a push-up.
You can't do push-ups. It was like in Meet the Robinsons. It's like, I got such a big head, small little arms. But I thought that was hysterical. But Stegosaurus, Triceratops. They got the horns and the spikes and stuff like that. But it's like the Velociraptor, man. He's smaller, he's quicker. He's got those big, huge claws on his feet too. And it's just like there's something just scary about him too. It's like
Sinister.
When you watch Jurassic Park, the ones that scared me the most. I mean, the T-Rex is scary, but man, the Velociraptors, man, they're just horrifying in that movie.
Right. They're like you said, they're smaller and faster. Like a T-Rex, you could see it coming. Like
Smarter.
Or you can hear it coming.
Yeah. Velociraptor will fucking clever girl your ass and you'll never know it.
Exactly. It's like, I would not want to go up against those. I'm just like, God.
I would like to congratulate you on being the first person that we've interviewed that actually gave the answer of a real dinosaur. Thank you for that.
Nicole
really?
gave a dinosaur.
Oh my!
The cute
I was such a huge dinosaur freak when I was a kid. I wish I still had the knowledge I had as a kid. I was like an encyclopedia. I could look at a bone and tell, that goes to plesiosaurus, and I'm like, it would be like the shin bone. I would know exactly what it went to. It was like, like my parents, when I was third grade, we drove all the way from Alabama to California and back. So we took a trip through Vernal, Utah, where Dinosaur National Monument is.
Right.
Yep.
Where they're digging them out of the bedrock. And it was like, that was the coolest thing to me. Because you could go up there and actually touch the bones.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's like that idea that you're touching something that's millions of years old is just mind-blowing. It's like, oh my God, this used to be alive. This massive creature was alive at one point millions of years ago. I'm like that. I was obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid.
That's how you end it right there.
There we go.
Unintentionally, the great question. Love it. All right. Well, David, I do really, really want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing some time and knowledge with us, sir. I really thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. It was great to talk to you and get to know you.
This was fun.
And hopefully when
I enjoyed these questions. I was like, these are fun.
It's what we do. And hopefully when Terrifier 2 comes out, we'd love to have you back on and shoot the shit a little bit more with you.
Of course, because there's so much I have to talk about part 2. You're gonna have so many questions.
Oh, we will.
You're gonna have so many questions. You're like, oh my God, this scene and this scene and this scene and this scene and this scene. It's like, oh my God, there's so much I want to talk about.
Oh
man, I'm so looking forward to it.
I want first rights to beat all the other podcasts to this guy. We gotta make this happen. Get out there before some 12-year-old with an attitude goes, okay, sir, that's great. Next question is, no. We got to get the first one on this. We're going to make that happen. David, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.